Hello everybody, I hope you're having a great week so far. It's Friday. I made a huge announcement on my Instagram page, so if you don't follow me on there, you should. It's at Balance by Meg. I am literally just over the moon excited right now. So I'm gonna try to relax for this video and pull myself together. But today I'm gonna do part 2 of my book talk, I guess we'll call it. I talked a little bit about the Beyond the Pill book and just did a short summary about kind of the first chapter and some of the things to pay attention to in my last video. And then this video, I'm gonna kind of touch on just some of the hormones and the systems in our body that are affected by the birth control pill. So to start, I'm not going to just give you a biology lesson. Most of us know how the cycle works. It's fluctuations of estrogen and progesterone and just a couple other hormones. But in all, the main thing that I want you to focus on is the fact that if one hormone is off, the entire system is going to be off. I've mentioned that before, but especially when you're on the pill, our bodies are getting a constant flow of synthetic estrogen and progesterone. So especially if you're on a combination pill, which is what I was on, it's just a constant flow of both of those hormones throughout the entire month. That obviously disrupts the natural fluctuations of our hormones during the month because our brains are not connected to our ovaries. Like, the connection isn't there, they're not communicating very well, and that is what the pill does to obviously prevent us from getting pregnant. But when it does that, it also just messes up a bunch of other systems in our body. So some of the hormones that you should get tested to make sure that you don't have any imbalances if you are on the pill include like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, thyroid hormone, DHEA, cortisol. Obviously I have my notes here. I don't want to forget anything for you guys, but insulin, leptin, oxytocin, like those are all things that you should get tested if you are going to check for any hormonal imbalances. And I will touch on some of the common hormonal imbalances that she talks about in her book. She has quizzes throughout her book to kind of help you figure out what you may be high or low in, including like if you're high or low in estrogen or high or low in progesterone or testosterone or cortisol. Those are the main ones that she touches on in her book. But to give you an idea, like too little estrogen, symptoms of them are depression, anxiety, night sweats, vaginal dryness, no interest in sex. Too high of estrogen includes heavy, painful periods, fibroids, cysts on the ovaries, breast tenderness, fibrocystic breasts. It's also associated with an increased risk in breast cancer. That just gives you an idea of just for estrogen. If you have low libido or like you're less motivated, you lose muscle mass, it kind of feels like you are a little depressed, that could be due to too low of testosterone. But if you, on the other hand, too much testosterone may happen with PCOS. It could happen with the post-pill androgen rebound. You could be seeing some unwanted hair in different areas of the body. You might be a little more angry, acne. All of those things could be the cause of or the effect of too high testosterone. Too little thyroid includes like irregular periods, infertility, fatigue, dry skin, hair loss, brain fog. Too little cortisol is linked to adrenal fatigue and also HPA axis dysregulation, which is, our adrenals, how our body functions. And it can lead to total exhaustion, weakened immune system. If you're getting sick all the time, it could be because you have too little cortisol. Chronic headaches, it's hard to get out of bed every day. Again, you're kind of unmotivated. And too much cortisol can be that wired and tired feeling, feeling like your brain is going a million miles a minute. You can't fall asleep at night, or you wake up in the middle of the night and you're up for hours. You can't fall back asleep. And then too little progesterone can be infertility, anxiety, insomnia, uncontrollable crying, or irregular menstrual cycles. So that just gives you an idea of some of the symptoms that you can have if your hormones are out of balance. Some of them, yes, if you have you can have multiple. You don't just have like one or the other. You can have multiple symptoms in multiple areas, and so that is definitely something that you should get tested for to see where you specifically are at. Because yes, you can take the quizzes in the book, but until you get that tested, you actually go to a doctor and have them look over it, you won't know what your exact levels are just by doing the quizzes in the book. So keep that in mind. Make sure you go to a doctor if you do want to get some of these tests done. And the next piece that I want to touch on is the liver, the gut, the thyroid, and our adrenal glands. Those are huge parts of our body and systems in our body that are affected by the pill. Most people don't realize the effect that the pill can have on every single system in our body, but the liver plays an extremely crucial role just because it processes the pill. Our bodies process the pill in our liver, and unfortunately, the scary thing is that the pill can permanently alter the genes in your liver, especially the longer you take it. There's a protein called sex hormone binding globulin, and it can actually cause our bodies to create more of that protein, and that protein binds to estrogen and testosterone. So it makes our bodies seem like it's producing less of those two things. So you might see symptoms of low estrogen and low testosterone if your SHBG is high. The pill can also cause liver tumors, gallstones, gallbladder disease. She lists some of the factors of gallbladder disease, the increased risk factors of gallbladder disease in her book. And our liver also takes a huge hit, not only with the pill, but also with cosmetics and cleaning products and all of those things that we put on our bodies that we're surrounded by in our environment. And that's one of the reasons that I've really come to choose more natural, healthier options, not just for the environment, but for my hormonal health. Like, that stuff gets in your skin, it gets in your body, and it can absolutely disrupt your hormones. All of those chemicals are hormone disrupting chemicals. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. I was never really worried about it before, but now I'm just kind of like, okay, I need to swap out a lot of these things in my apartment to make sure that I'm, not only treating my body well from the inside out, but also from the outside in. The next one I want to talk about is the gut. And keep in mind, I'm not rushing through these, but I'm not touching on every single thing she talks about in her book. Like, you are getting a very small glimpse of the information she has in her book by me talking about it. So again, I've mentioned it multiple times, but if you are interested in learning more about these specific areas, please go buy her book on Amazon or her website and make sure you read through that to get some more specifics. But the gut, everything is related back to the gut. And most people don't realize how important our gut truly is. And unfortunately, as females, our gut, our microbiome, and our hormones are all very intimately connected. So again, if one is messed up, then the other ones are probably going to be messed up as well. And a healthy gut is essential for actually removing estrogen from our body. So if you have too high of estrogen levels, then that could mean that you are having gut issues and your gut is not able to get rid of the excess estrogen. And that's why you need to take care of your gut first. So the pill also alters your microbiome, and it honestly destroys your gut integrity. So you could start to see things like leaky gut syndrome, IBS, any issues with your gut, constipation, digestion issues, diarrhea, like all of those things can be caused by taking the pill. Obviously, there are tons of other sources and ways that can affect our gut, multiple other food sources and all of those things, but the pill can be a huge cause of some of those things as well. Unfortunately, gut imbalances can also be the cause of weight gain. So if your gut isn't healthy and you're not taking care of your body internally, then that could be a reason why you are gaining weight or you can't lose the weight that you want to lose, even if you're doing all the right things. So if you're truly, you're exercising, you're eating the right foods, you're doing all the right things, but you're not losing weight, then you probably need to get your hormones checked, your gut checked. You need to do a food intolerance test. Make sure that your liver, your gut, and your thyroid are all healthy so that okay, this is really something I can fix if I have these results and I know how to fix them. So the final one I want to talk about is the thyroid. The thyroid is extremely important. And The main things to note about thyroid and the pill is that the pill depletes a lot of our nutrients that our thyroid actually needs, and it increases thyroid binding globulin. So that is another protein that actually binds up our thyroid. So similar to the sex hormone binding globulin, it's going to bind up our thyroid hormone so that we can't use all of it in our bodies. So again, you may have fairly normal levels of, TSH, of thyroid hormone, T4, T3, all of those things. But if your pill is causing you to increase thyroid binding globulin proteins, then your thyroid is probably not going to be functioning as well as it should. It's going to bind up more of those active thyroid hormones, so that it seems like you have like hypothyroidism or something like that. Hypothyroidism is one of the more common conditions of the thyroid, and some of those symptoms include cold intolerance, weight gain, depression, anxiety, slow heart rate, fatigue, memory loss, hair thinning, dry skin, brittle nails, and constipation. Leaky gut also increases the risk of hypothyroidism, so if you do have gut issues, that could definitely cause issues with your thyroid as well. Again, everything comes back to the gut. But keep that in mind. Like, you may be seeing symptoms of hypothyroidism, but it could be because you just have too much of that thyroid binding globulin in your body. So again, the only way that you're going to be able to figure that out and be sure about it is if you get tested for your thyroid, for all those other hormones, just to be sure. There are certain tests that you want to make sure that you get when you go to the doctor and you need to get your thyroid tested. One of the things that I think was missed a couple times when I was getting my thyroid test is most Western medicine doctors, they don't test every single part of your thyroid, I guess, when they run the test. So they kind of give you an overall general answer, but they don't look in depth to each of your thyroid hormones. So if your doctor is trying to test your thyroid hormone and the only thing they test is TSH, that is not enough for you to know if your thyroid is actually functioning properly. So I'm gonna list the tests that you want to take. So total T4, total T3, free T4, free T3, reverse T3, anti-TPO, anti-thyroid thyroglobulin antibodies, and thyroid receptor and thyroid stimulating immunoglobulins, if there are any signs of hypothyroidism, or hyperthyroidism, I'm sorry. Hyperthyroidism is if you create too much of your thyroid hormone, and hypo is if you don't create enough. But those are the tests that you should be getting done outside of TSH. Your doctor is only running TSH, they are not getting a full picture of your thyroid health. So the next video will be more about my test results and the doctor's order specifically for me. So I'm really excited because that'll get more into my actual journey with it, a little more personal, so that I'm not just sharing like book knowledge with you guys, but I really do hope that you got something out of the past couple videos where I did share some of that background knowledge, just to kind of give you an idea of where I'm coming from and why I'm doing what I'm doing. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure you do that below. I'd be more than happy to answer. You can also message me on Instagram. Again, it's @BalanceByMeg. But I hope that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a great weekend.